Mrinal Jain from Meta. We will research what's being asked for.
Hi, you guys. This is our last speaker for this side. We have Mrinal Jain from Lowe's, and he's going to go ahead and start kicking off his session.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi all. Welcome everyone to another talk in this evening. After this level of wisdom, I think there needs to be some level of basic stuff, right? Because I was just moved by the way you were speaking to all this stuff. So, how many of you know what Flutter is actually? Over here, a quick show of hands. Flutter. Yep. How many of you know? Just like a few of them, right? Yeah. So, my name is Mrinal Jain. I am working as a mobile architect for Lowe's. I specialize in mobile application development and basically all the hybrid platforms, because nowadays applications are not really limited for mobile apps. Wherever you can see a screen, basically there's a scope to create an application for that part, be it as good as a refrigerator as well. You can see a screen over there and you can create applications for that as well, right? So since today's theme is mostly related to AI, so I'll try to bring in Gemini and make it part of my session, and try to showcase that how we can use Gemini to create mobile applications. The entire agenda of my talk would be to make sure that even if you are a beginner in mobile application development, or even if you have never ever created a mobile application, you can still go ahead and create any basic mobile application of your own after this session. So this is something which we can try to do. So since a lot of you didn't raise your hands for Flutter, so just a very basic definition of Flutter. It's a UI toolkit which Google is working on. And with the help of Flutter, you can create or you can compile mobile applications for almost 9 platforms. So when I say 9 platforms, you can just name it on your fingertips. Like Android, iOS are basically on top, but then you can create desktop applications for Windows as well. You can create applications for Linux, and then there are a few more platforms as well. One of the really important aspects of Flutter is that it just not supports mobile applications. One of the platforms out of those 9 platforms is web also. So you can render or you can compile your application for web also. So it really brings down the developer effort, because if I speak from an point of view of let's say you're working on a startup or you're trying to work on your idea, right? So the biggest cost which comes across is hiring a developer, right? So it's really good if just one developer who knows Flutter, who knows Dart, I'll come back to Dart as well, who knows Flutter, can just work on that particular mobile application, and then later on you can render all 9 platforms on your own. So that is what the best part about Flutter is. Yeah, so when we speak about Gemini, usually what we all think of is kind of a chatbot, that I'll give some input to the chatbot and the chatbot will mostly respond me back with something, right? It can be anything related to, let's say, asking about feedback of any image, or trying to ask that, okay, hey, can you generate this image, or can you generate this content for me? Usually this is the very basic stuff which we do. But it can do much more. There are so many more opportunities which Gemini can open for you, right? As a developer, when you talk about creating a mobile application, there are so many external dependencies which you have to face. The major dependency is a backend service, right? Because a very static mobile application won't give you a lot of traction, won't give you a lot of users. You need to have a backend as well. Gemini can replace the backend. For example, if you want to create a mobile application like an Amazon or something, right? You need to have a lot of database as well, right? Gemini can replace that particular thing and help you to create all that stuff, right? So all these things is something which we'll try to unleash today. So a quick show of hands. A quick show of hands. just have a question for you guys. So we'll start from the airplane. So how many years did each of this take to reach 50 million users? So let's start from airplane. So anyone who like, what do you think? How many years it took, or years or days or months it took for airplanes to reach 50 million users? 40 years? Yeah. Anyone else? Anyone else?
7 years.
7 years?
10 years.
10 years. Okay, so there's a huge difference. Like we started from 40 and then we are 7. Anyone else? Anyone else? Any guesses? Okay, so we have 40 and then we have 7 and we have 10. Okay, so let's have a look. Even I'm not sure. Yeah, it took 68 years. It took 68 years for airplanes to reach the 50 million users mark. Okay, so now let's make it interesting. Internet. What do you think? Internet. How many years it must have taken internet to reach 50 million users?
Maybe like 7 years.
Okay, 7 years. Okay, so we are learning basically. Yeah.
5 years.
5 years. Okay, anyone else? I guess 25 years. Okay. Okay, that's a bold guess. Yeah. Yeah. Anyone else?
I would say 10 maybe.
12 years. Okay, let's see. Okay, so it took 7
7.
years. Who was the closest? I guess. Yeah. Okay, great. So now we can we might have a ballpark view of next. Basically that. Okay, what should we guess? Yeah. So what about Facebook? Because it's the first social media platform, so that's why. 4 years. Okay.
3 years.
3 years. 3 years. Anyone else? Anyone else? 3 years.
Yeah,
Okay, so 3 years is the on an average is what we are looking for, right? Yeah. So 3 years is exactly right.
Perfect.
Yeah. So basically now we have learned, right? Yeah. So now let's guess for Gen AI, right? Any of the LLM basically. Yeah.
3 months.
A year.
1
Yeah.
50
1 year.
million users for Gen AI.
3 months.
Okay. Now we are down to months basically. Yeah. Because that's how the trajectory is going. Yeah. Okay. Months. 6 months. Anyone
6
wants
months.
to make a bold guess less than or more than 6 months? 2 months. Okay. 2 months.
I got
Okay.
3
I got
months.
3 months. Okay. So on an average, we are thinking about some months basically, right? Okay. So let's see. Yeah. So it took 5 weeks. Literally, it took 5 weeks,
Wow.
and we can literally see it because every day there's a new AI tool which is being launched, right? And people are just shifting their loyalty here and there every day. So 5 weeks is what it took Gen AI to reach 50 million users. The reason why I told all these stats is because we should start using this particular capability to enhance the applications that we are creating, right? Because users are used to of using each and everything which Gen AI is providing, be it creating images, be it creating documentations, and a lot of stuff. There are a number of stuff which Gen AI can do. So we should leverage it basically. So that's what I was trying to say. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I just had a simple slide about Gemini as well. It's an LLM which Google is working on. Most of us know it has so many different aspects. We can do sentimental analysis, we can do a lot of creative work on it, we can do a lot of advanced reasoning on it as well. We can do a number of tasks for it. So that is what the Gemini is all about. Yeah. Now, coming back to the topic for my session, which is how we can leverage Gemini and Flutter to create mobile applications. So that is why I'm saying like, why Gemini for Flutter? Because it removes a major roadblock for creating mobile application. If we speak about major aspects of mobile application, the first is either you need to know a programming language like Kotlin for creating it on Android, you need to know Swift for creating for iOS, and then there are different mobile platforms and desktop platforms where you'll have to know specific programming languages to create an application. And nowadays, a user interface, a mobile application is really important if you have even a simple idea. It need not to be a mobile application, but some sort of user interface, user interaction where your customer can interact with your product. So it's really, really important to have that. And Gemini basically breaks that roadblock because, as I said in starting, even if you don't know any programming language, if you know just how to provide a proper context to Gemini, a proper prompt to Gemini, Gemini will make sure that it won't leave you with empty hands. It will definitely provide you at least some basic mobile application which you can launch, or with the APK you can download and use it on your phones. So that is why it's really important that we leverage all these things. Yeah, I'm not sure if someone today spoke about AI Studio, which is Google's AI Studio. You don't need to know any programming language to use it. You can just go there, you can provide different prompts on your ideas and you can start using it. I would definitely suggest all of you to just have a look at it. It's as interactive as everyone uses ChatGPT, right? So it's as interactive as that. You can just give it a basic prompt, and in return, if you want an API, you can get that as well. Even in return, if you want a basic chat code, you can get that as well. You just need to give as much as context. For example, if you are creating a project of your own, you guys, a lot of you are from like college students as well. So you create a lot of projects, you create a lot of documentations. What you can do is you can provide entire set of documentation to a context in Google AI Studio and then ask questions based upon that, or maybe learn from that as well. And then you can publish it as an app on stores as well. So that is what Google AI Studio does it. So zero programming knowledge, you can start using this and you can start leveraging the power of Gemini. Now, at next level, there is Firebase Studio. How many of you have heard about or used Firebase? Firebase. Okay, so Firebase is basically a next level of basically ideation platform, I would say, or prototyping platform, I would say, which is again part of Google. It provides you a bundle or an online IDE, I can say. Everyone uses some sort of IDE nowadays, right? Some use VS Code. How many of you use VS Code? Android Studio, right? Everyone uses some sort of an IDE, right? Firebase is basically an online IDE. That is what I can say. And Firebase Studio is online IDE. The best part of it is that it's just not an IDE, it also provides you extra benefits. Just like if you are creating an application, some basic aspects of an application are authentication, right? You need storage, you need, let's say, notifications. You want to send notifications to your user. You need images, you need so many different processing ideas and everything, right? So Firebase provides you everything at one place. Firebase will give you all the options at just single place. You can just use it. And one of the most important thing about Firebase is being a Google product, it provides a lot of services for free. So again, the basic roadblock is very low. You have to just sign up and you can start using it. And the best part about Firebase Studio is it will generate a APK and again give you an APK. Just you don't have to do all that Android Studio installation, all that Xcode installation and everything. Just talk to AI on Firebase Studio, use all the services like authentication and Firebase storage and everything, and it will give you a generative APK, and then you can start directly using it. Again, very good for prototyping, very good for creating a basic MVP for your idea. Yeah. So now what I'll do is I'll talk about a few use cases which I have personally worked upon using Gemini, and I've tried creating mobile applications with that. And most of these applications which I'll be showcasing, it took me like 3 days or 2 days to create like end-to-end working, right, with the help of Gemini. So I've just basically written about few basic use cases. What you can do is you can generate basic sort of tailored content for your users. This idea came from an application which I created for users. It was an edtech mobile application where I take some basic information from user, that what do you want to learn about, and then give him a personalized learning plan with videos, with articles and everything. Again, I didn't create a backend of my own. I just asked user for all the context. What do you want to learn? At what level you want to learn, and just passed entire context to Gemini, and Gemini gave me entire learning material. Now my duty was just to showcase it in a mobile application. So the entire backend part was taken care by Gemini. Okay, so a quick showcase of the application which I tried to create. So this is a learning platform where you'll add a learning plan of your own. Once you start adding your plan, it will basically create a profile that okay, I want to learn Python. I'm a beginner. I want videos and web links. This is where all the context is used, and then the same context I provide to Gemini. Gemini gives me all the data in form of JSON, and I have to just showcase it on the mobile application. It's as simple as that. You can just create your own mobile application with this basic prompt. Okay, so yeah. And then there are so many different other features also which I built. For example, I worked on a quiz as well, so that you can create a quiz section as well. I also created a shared learning platform where you can just share a link of any of the services which you have created and learn in groups as well. So all that I've created over here. Now if we look at the basic prompt which I gave to Gemini for getting all that data from the Gemini server, from the Google servers, or from the entire internet for that specific user was just this prompt, right? You might have heard nowadays, right? There are prompt engineer roles which are going on, right? So it's really in the market because the level of prompt which you'll give to Gemini is directly proportional to the level of answer which you get from Gemini, right? So this is a very specific prompt which I have created. All the variables which you are seeing, right? These are the user inputs which I took from the user. When user said, I want to learn Python, what is the level? The beginner is the level. Options.subject is the subject. Context options, and then all of this. So basically, all of it inside a prompt, and then you have to share it to the Gemini. Now, if we speak about how you can do it inside Flutter. So just I'm not speaking over here for any specific programming language. Though Flutter uses Dart. Dart, how many of you have heard about Dart or know what Dart is? Yeah. Anyone else? Angular, how many of you have heard? Angular JS or Angular? Yeah. So just a quick trivia. Angular JS is written in Dart. Angular JS, not Angular. Angular JS, I guess it was launched in 2010 or something. The first version of Angular. So it was written in Dart. So it's that old programming language. But it was used inside Google. They didn't let it out. In 2017, when they launched Flutter, so that's when they officially announced that okay, now you can use Dart as well. So that is the programming language which Flutter uses. But the code or the pseudocode which I am showing is coding agnostic. It's just a basic simple code. So users options is the model which I have created. It will contain all the data about the user. All the data about the user, which means when user is interacting with your mobile application, you're collecting the data. This is the subject, these are the options which I need. I'll save it somewhere, and then I'll populate that user options inside the prompt. I'll use the Gemini model, which you can see in the last line, which is the execute inference. I'll use the Gemini model, I'll provide that prompt to Gemini, and then in the final line which you are seeing, I'll get the response. Response I'll get in the form of JSON. JSON everyone knows, right? If you have worked on even a simple project, and JSON is something which is the most widely used response type where we can populate our data in the mobile applications. So this is the simple pseudocode for using a Gemini. Now, I've shown a very basic simple response object as well, which Gemini will give you. So it will have a subject. I've taken example as Flutter, experience level beginner, and then it has started giving us content, right? So this is the content which I am populating in the mobile application and then showing it to the user. So it becomes as simple as that, right? So you just took some input from the user, you gave it to Gemini, Gemini gave you the response object, and then you populate it again into the mobile application. And that basically completes your one phase of mobile application. Again, no need to create backend API, no need to worry where will I be storing data, no need to worry how or what all sources I'll be getting data from. That everything is taken care by Gemini. So this is a very basic, simple response, right? And you don't have to be very specific about it's giving JSON. You can just sort of tinker around in your prompt, and if you want some other format, you can just tell Gemini, it will give you that format as well. Yeah, so this is a very basic architecture for the Flutter app, which we just saw. So if you'll see, that is the mobile application. We are collecting the user data, and then we are sending it to Gemini. There's no backend here. There's no backend. It's all entirely front end. We are sending it to the Gemini. Gemini is giving me the response back over here, and then I'm parsing that response in form of URLs and video resources and showing it again on the mobile screen. It's as simple as that. So this is the very basic architecture of the mobile application that we just created. Now, I showed you a very simple pseudocode. I'll just take some more time to show the exact SDKs and exact libraries in case you want to use Flutter to create a mobile application with Gemini. So what exact libraries you will be needing. So I'll show you the exact pseudocode for that. Yeah, so since AI is something which is sort of growing day by day, so similarly, the SDKs which are being released by Google, they are also basically growing out to themselves. Yeah. So initially we started with Google Generative AI SDK, which was launched by Google last year. It's no more being used because you just have to, if you want to use it for prototyping, it's good, but you can't use it for production level. Then we shifted to Firebase Vertex AI. Firebase Vertex AI is also sort of almost out of scope as of now. It won't be, basically you won't be able to use it after 2 to 3 months. Mostly after this Google AI, which is happening in next couple of months, they will also stop using that. So the final version which you have to use is the Firebase AI. Firebase AI package is something which you'll have to use, and then it will be available for you to create mobile applications with the help of this, right? Now, where will you get all these packages? Every programming language has some sort of a package library, right? For Next.js or any JavaScript packages, usually we go to npm, right? npm is where you get all the packages. And for Android, there are similar other libraries. So similarly for Flutter, there is a pub.dev registry or pub.dev library where you can get all these packages, right? You can post your packages over here, and you can get the open source packages from here as well. The Firebase AI is basically the officially supported package by Google. Now, yeah, so just to showcase that until last year, it was Vertex AI and Firebase AI were different. From now, similarly, Vertex AI is the basically Firebase AI. Just change of name, that's all. Very simple prototyping diagram of what actually we are going to do. Flutter is the front-facing mobile application. In between, we'll be having Firebase, and then at the end, it's the Gemini who is giving the response. So all this cloud platform thing is taken care by Gemini. We are just taking care of our mobile application. So that is the basic architecture which we'll be using over here. Why Firebase is there in between? Why are we not directly talking from our mobile application to Gemini? Because Firebase provides you some extra efficiency. For example, as I said, if you want to add authentication, you can add with the help of authentication. If you want to add some extra layering in terms of storing some images, you can add Firebase with the help of that. So that is why we are using Firebase in the between. Yeah, so now this is the exact code which you can use for your mobile application. You'll have to import the generative AI package. Obviously, you'll be needing an API key for that. So you can add your API key, and then next, yeah. So next, you'll have to define basic specific models. You guys can relate it with the basic LLMs which you use. For example, if you use ChatGPT, right? You have a drop-down option that which model I want to use. You have a context window. You have all those options, upload image, right? All that you have there, over there. So similarly, you're just asking your code to do it every time the user wants to do something. So you're creating a context over here. I'm using which model I want to use. I'm giving all the configurations. I'm providing all the user options to the code over here. So this is basically generating my basic generation model. Now, finally, we come to the schema object, which I was talking about. That what kind of response I want back from Gemini. I want a JSON object in all this specific model. So properties. So subject will be there, description will be there, levels will be there. So I'm providing this context to Gemini that this is how I want the response. And then finally the prompt which I've created. Here I've given a very simple prompt, but the actual prompt was the initial one which I provided you guys. Then comes the final part of it, that we create the content, we ask model to generate the content, and then finally we decode the response in the last line, and we have the response object which we can show on the UI. Yeah. The generative AI library which I was explaining initially, it will be deprecated. So in case of, instead of generative AI library, you can also use the Firebase library, Firebase AI library. It's as simple as that. It's just that you need to initialize Firebase. If you can see over here, you'll have to just initialize the Firebase, and then rest of the coding part will be exactly the same. Just need to initialize the Firebase library. Great. So like that was the very basic example of a mobile application without using any backend services if you want to create a mobile application. So these are the very basic. Yeah. So these are the very basic options, and which you can use. Some other use cases are also there for creating mobile applications. For example, you can create a support application, which previous speaker was talking about. You can leverage AI for creating this kind of applications, and then storing those support application and storing those calls, and then you can give the user feedback as well. That what is the feedback your mobile application getting and everything. You can automate a lot of tasks. You can offer personalized recommendations, just like the previous application was doing. That it was asking user that what do you want to learn, and then generating content based upon that. So you can do all of them. Yeah. Okay. So just a quick question again, just to see if you guys are listening properly or not. I started the session with a basic trivia, right? So how many platforms can Flutter compile an application for?
9.
How many? 9. Anyone else who thinks it's not 9? 9 itself? Okay, yeah, that's correct. Yeah. So 9 is the option. Just I have mentioned the names also, so that we can quickly go through all of them. Windows, Web, iOS, macOS, Wasm, Android, Linux, embedded, and RISC. Most of it must be clear to you guys, right? There are something which is embedded is also clear to everyone. So all of these are the platforms, 9 platforms basically, which you can use. And there's a quick, need to remember the name as well. So that is something which you can look for. The most popular is obviously Android, and then iOS, and then it goes like Web, and then Windows and other platforms as well. Yeah. So another quick application which I created, it falls into the embedded category, completely made with Flutter. As you can see, it's a Raspberry Pi. There's a mic at the top, and then I've connected it with a basic simple watch or basic simple screen, which you can see, right? So this is the very basic setup. Obviously, there's an Android OS which is installed in this. So Raspberry Pi plus Android, that is what Flutter requires basically. So that is what we have installed. It's a very simple application. What I have done is, I'll speak on Raspberry Pi about anything. Hey, I'm not feeling well. I can speak anything, right? So I'll take whatever user is speaking, we'll take it as a context, we'll create it, we'll convert it into text, and then we'll provide it to Gemini. And this time our prompt will be something like this: hey Gemini, please go through this text and tell me what's the mood of the user, right? So we'll ask Gemini to do all these things, right? Gemini will respond back, and then based upon Gemini's response, we'll show back to on the screen that, okay, hey, this is the mood of the user. So very basic, simple application. Again, no backend required. Yeah, so if you'll have a look at this again. Simple Raspberry Pi application using a mic, listening from the user's input, and then whatever user says, based upon that, the screen changes itself. That yeah, must have said they I feel like sleeping, so it converted into a sleep emoji. So just simple use case of using a Gemini, right? Yeah, again, simple architecture for this particular mobile application was that, again, there was a Raspberry Pi tool. We were listening with the help of mic. We were converting that text to a prompt, again sending it to Gemini. Gemini sending us a sentiment, basic, very basic sentiment analysis, very basic. Sending a sentiment that the user seems happy. We're converting that JSON response to a model and again showing it back to the UI. Very simple use case, but end-to-end implementation of Gemini with the help of Flutter. Yeah. Just a same mobile application I implemented on another Android watch, but I guess we can skip that. Just same application. I'll just show the architecture of it. Instead of Raspberry Pi, the architecture here will show that it's a Android watch. That's all. Because previously it was embedded system, now it's Android watch. You can use it anywhere. Right? Yeah. So some other more use cases of Android for Gemini. You can use it for creating dynamic UIs as well. You can use it for other visualizations and interactions as well. And there are other more examples for that as well. Yep. One last thing. This is something which is not created by me, but one of my friend created it. So bringing Gemini Flutter into a virtual reality experience. You must have played Monopoly, right? A lot of you might have played Monopoly. So not exactly like Monopoly, but here the chart is there, the mobile application is there, and you can, with the help of RFIDs, you can choose your own character and then just literally start playing on that particular board. Just have to use your RFIDs and you can choose any of the characters and you can start playing on that particular board. Again, no backend required. Entire application with the help of tab functionality and with the help of Google Home functionality, you can implement it with Flutter and Gemini and you can create this particular application. Again, this particular application was part of a hackathon. It was created in 36 hours. Very basic prototype was created. This is a complete product, but very basic prototype was there and it was created. So you can use all the creativity to create these kind of applications with the help of Gemini. Right, yeah. So now, just very basic stuff, like once you have this much power in your hand, definitely you need to take care of a lot of, you have a lot of responsibility as well. So you need to be very transparent in terms of what data of user you are taking, because you don't have a backend of your own. You are relying on Gemini to give the data, right? And you are passing on the entire data provided by the user as well. So basically, you need to make sure that you're not passing on any important data like credit card details or any specific data about user, mobile numbers and everything. You don't pass it to Gemini. You basically truncate it or you make sure that it's safe and secure as well. So all that privacy stuff you need to take care of while using any specific AI tool, right? So and then basically all that stuff that you need to make sure that the application is secure as well, and then the design is also making sure that user is knowing that okay, where is my data flowing as of now, what Gemini is using, what the mobile application developer is using as well. Great. Now some other future scopes of Gemini where you can use Gemini is there is multimodal interactions. A lot of you who might be working as a developer, you might be knowing that nowadays IDEs are not just for writing codes, right? You can integrate Figma tools to that, you can integrate Claude to it, and then it becomes like a proper powerhouse, right? So there are multiple models interacting with each other. The Figma is creating data, creating design over there, and it's coming to your IDE. There are different other tools as well. So multimodal interactions is something which is really important. Generative UI is something also very important. Nowadays, you don't have to be very specific about UI. AI will take care of what kind of UI he wants to show to the user. So that is also something which is really important and a good future scope for Gemini, right? then there are different mobile applications which you can create, and basically it's kind of limitless. Basic prototype of generative AI is what I wanted to explain. Again, same thing. You'll ask Gemini to show what kind of data user wants, and then this is the code which Gemini is giving you. It's Flutter code. So Gemini itself is providing you the code as well. This is the widget you have to show to the user. So this is a very basic example of generative AI. The prompt was, show me the places to visit in the fall. And Gemini is giving you the, not just the text, it's giving you the code as well. So this is a very basic example of the generative AI. Great, yeah, so almost towards the end of the talk. These are the few links which you guys can like bookmark, which I've included in my talk. The SDKs are there, the Google AI Studio is there. If you want to know more about Flutter, you can go to the flutter.dev. Also, all the examples which I have explained, there's a code lab obviously provided by Google, so you can go and play over there. Again, you don't have to install anything, it's a code lab, so you'll be able to just sort of interact with it, add code to it, remove code to it, and start using it. Yes?
I was just wondering what the current limitations of Flutter are, and what are some things you guys are trying to tackle right now and fix?
In context to
In context to, I guess, GCP or cloud stuff, where you're passing data through and Gemini's controlling all that process. So, is there any limitations to that?
Yeah, actually there are a lot of limitations. So as of now, if the flow of content is text, it's working almost perfectly fine. But when we try to shift to, let's say, images or video content, that is when we are getting a lot of lag. So as of now, that is something which the entire Google Flutter team is working upon. Because again, text is text is basically large chunk of data which user gives. But again, images and videos are also something which is really important. For example, I might have an idea of creating a mobile application where let's say I just want to share a video and then ask that, hey, is the user cheating or not? Cheating in the sense like coding language or something like that, live test or all of that stuff. We want to create a mobile application. We can use Gemini for that, but the flow of data is something which is missing as of now. So that is a like a challenge which we have. So these are all the things which you can use. Yeah. So that's all. So the major context of talking about all of it was that let's not just stay or keep ourselves to creating chatbots using AI and using Gemini and all these tools. The scope is huge, and just think of an idea and start creating it, and don't just limit yourself. So that is what the basic idea of the talk was. Yeah, thank you. It was really nice talking in front of all of you guys. Hope to connect with you guys. Maybe this code will take you to either LinkedIn or Twitter. We'll be happy to answer your questions, and we'll be happy to connect with you after this as well. Okay, thank you. Thanks a lot, guys.